Hi guys, I'm here with Zai, the offlaner from Team Secret. I'm going to ask him a couple of questions. So Zai, talk me through how it's been going for you guys at the moment.
I'd say it's kind of slow at the moment. I think maybe we're not putting everything into it as we did in some previous tournaments, but we're still trying, and results have been pretty good so far. So yeah, I think we're taking it easy, and we're quite happy with where we're at, I think.
Of course, I've interviewed quite a few players for this series, and I've asked them often about Team Secret as you're kind of the big team in the region. And they've often said that you guys feel a little bit more burnt out this tournament. Would you say that's true, that you're experiencing a touch of burnout?
Well, I think it's a weird term to kind of describe what's going on. I can only speak for myself, but I think most players on the team are feeling some kind of similar thing. But for me, I just at this point in time, I just don't really have the patience to keep up the intensity. Maybe that's needed, like by playing pubs all day long and watching every single game and absorbing information and stuff like this. I'm kind of just like a bit tired of that part. So if that's burnout, maybe I'm not quite sure, but definitely like some sort of mental fatigue, I would say. Yeah.
Is there a degree of complacency? Do you go into the tournaments expecting to win and therefore maybe not throw your all into it?
I, I don't. I wouldn't say so. I think we're quite. I think we're quite understanding with if we're actually not giving it 100%. Expecting to win is stupid. And we've had that before where maybe we went into the tournament thinking we're super good, and then we get beat because we're actually not coming into the tournament with anything cool. It's just the same old stuff. So I think we've experienced that before, and I think we realized that if we're not trying as hard as we shouldn't be expecting to get first places and stuff. So with that said, expecting to win this tournament, I'm not sure if everyone on our team is, to be honest.
You personally, I've interviewed a number of offlane careers over my career as an interviewer, and they've often said that you, as a player, are very influential to them. They've copied a lot of your ideas. They've looked at the way that you approach the game. Do you feel influential when you look at other offlane players, or do you think that's not a true statement?
To some extent, sure, but I also think offlane is a role where you kind of have to mold it to your own team.
Mm-hmm.
I think offlaners across the board have very differing responsibilities, kind of based on what your team is like and what your team setup is like. Teams with mid players who are far more oriented, like they'll require an offlaner who really doesn't want to farm as much and kind of moves around the map and does more stuff. Whereas you'll have teams where the mid player is constantly rotating, and so then the offlaner naturally falls into this role where his heroes will often scale into like it more and more, and he'll have a larger responsibility in that way. So I think it's very different. Like carries, for example, will always be carries, and I think mid laners, at least during this patch, has kind of been set in stone as well, as in terms of what they're supposed to do. But offlane is always up in the air, I think. You're supposed to bully carries, which is great, but apart from that, I think you kind of make your own playstyle. And so for me, I think something that's unique for our team maybe is that me and Yazid maybe have a unique kind of like take on the roles 3 and 4, and I'm not sure if everyone can replicate it. I'm not sure if people have even tried, or they think it's good. But it's kind of something that just kind of evolves, I think, based off what teammates you have and what kind of player you want to be.
Other teams seem to focus you as a player quite a lot. I think a lot of the strategies against Team Secret are focused on shutting down you in the offlane. Do you agree with that? Does that feel, is there a lot of pressure constantly people trying to cut you up?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I think I'm not quite sure. I think from the teams I played on throughout my career, there's never been a time where our strategy against a certain team was to just shut down a player.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I don't think I've ever gone into a match or a series where let's just go to this guy's line and mess with him, and we'll probably win because he's the only player on their team that's good. I don't think I've ever had that. So I think for the most part, it's strategic and it's draft related. But yeah, I mean, it probably does happen, but I think when teams are focusing me, I'm quite happy, to be honest, because I feel like in that case, I'm in a position where if I'm getting focused a lot, and I know I'm getting focused on a hero that maybe doesn't have to have the most impact in early game, I'm content because I know my mid laner, my carrier are getting good games, so I'm super fine with that.
Okay, that's close to all I've got for you. So what's coming out next for you guys? Are you scrimming hard for the upcoming games, or has it been you're just taking tournament games as your practice?
Pretty much. I mean, we're watching all the games, and we're I guess reflecting on the games that we played so far, but we're not practicing that much per se. It's kind of just up to each player to keep up until we play again.
Are there teams you've watched or played against that you're particularly impressed by that have surprised you?
Oh, Viking strong for sure. I think the new VP squad is also very, very stable. I think, yeah, from what I've seen from VP, their formulas are just very, very stable, very compact team. So, yeah, I'd say Viking and VP are probably front runners in this tournament so far.
It's interesting to hear. Okay, we'll leave it there then. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. That was Zai from Team Secret.
Пока едет врач, лайк, подписка, колокольчик. И увидимся снова.